Hi everyone, welcome to Set News. Today's program we're going to talk about sports, technology, political issues in a national and international context. By the end of the program, we're going to talk about an important notice that recently happened out of our studio. So, but just for finish the program, we're going to talk about today's weather. Let's enjoy it. Nowadays, technology is an important impact for all of us, but for the countries, it's a very important topic. And if we talk about informatic security, today's session, one phantom cause was rejected again for security in UK. So let's Juan David introduce us on this interesting topic.
Hello, Michael. Today in United Kingdom, it was launched a hypothetical data called a phantom code that allowed to the people so CHQC to allow in on the data and information on the news and on the calls of the people in London. Uh, this program is with the duty of protect the security and prevent terrorist attacks and other complots in the country. A letter was write against this code by Google, WhatsApp, Apple, and other companies, saying that this will corrupt the information and the trust about their users. The president of the CHCQ allows that this is only for protection of the every user and for the country, but this is still a hypothetical idea. Back to you with the studio, Michael.
In other news, talking about the world of sports, Santiago is gonna communicate us about the winner of the UEFA Champions League and the retirement of the Rossi. Let's Santiago. Let's talk about that interesting topic.
Hello everyone, we are here in the section of sports of Set News. Today I'll talk you about three topics. The first one is the final of the UEFA Champions League. It was a final played in Madrid the 1st of June and was a final between two teams from England. One team was the Liverpool Football Club and the other team was the Spurs or Tottenham. Finally, it was a victory for the team of Liverpool, and the first score was for the middle field of Salah. The other score was for the football player Origi. The other notice is that the football player De Rossi from the AS Rome announced his retirement of the Football League. He says that he just wanted to lower the level of the player of the game. And the other notice is that in Ecuador is announced the first winner of the Giro d'Italia. It's a success for the cyclists of Ecuador.
Thank you for everything, Santiago. On the other hand, a terrible bike accident has recently happened. Our reporter Camila is in the place of events. Let's communicate with her.
Yes, Michael, thank you. I'm here in Totoro. Totoro authorities warned that teenagers descend on modified bicycles at higher speeds. A young man died and a child is in a coma. In the last hours, a video clip was developed, which is appreciated the moment when the accident occurred, where a minor lost his life when he practiced gravity bike on the road to Totoro Popayán. The images were recorded by another group who accompanied the route in the descent at high speed. Along this road, there also communicates to the department of Cauca and Huila. The video caught the moment when the young man, accompanied by a minor, collided violently against the van. Apparently, who was driving the bike invaded the line, which caused the accident. The group were mobilized on a bicycle equipped for a dangerous practice known as gravity bike which high-speed tours are carried out.
They removed the brakes to the bicycles but weight slowed them practically with the feet. And in this descent, where they take at full speed, came the two teenagers, and in a court they met the band, detailed a witness.
The accident occurred at the height of Aguatilla sector at kilometer 6 and claimed the life of Baroness Pierre Mazarel, 17 years old, who died as a result of the impact, while his companion, Maria Alexandra, 15 years old, was transferred in delicate conditions to a medical center. The Secretary of Government, Jorge Luis Piso, reported that the injured person is in a coma in Popayán and warned that they have frequently identified the minutes clinged to the town and stand the dangerous descent, risking not only their lives but another users of the road. This practice began to become popular at the Department of Cauca and consists in loaded roads with spots at a speed of up to 85 kilometers per hour. The officials say that the control of this situation becomes difficult because Totoro is a sixth-grade town that does not have transit authorities. So he called at the Popoyan agencies to carry out checks of the exit of that town. On the other hand, say that according to the residents at the sidewalks where the ambulance travels, it has been evidenced the consumption of hallucinogenic substances. Maria Camila Moreno in live from Totoro Popayan for Set News. We're back to the studio.
Thank you, Camila. I hope everything is fixed. Wait, something is happening. My team is communicated something. A terrible tragedy has recently happened a few minutes ago. Angela is in the place of the event. Let's communicate it with her.
Hey Michael, I can hear you. I'm here in the place of the news. At least 12 people died after disgruntled employee opened fire at Virginia Beach Municipal Center. The shooter, who opened a fire indiscriminately in a Virginia Beach today in the afternoon, killing at least 12 people and sending at least 4 others to the hospital. The gunman, who was a public utilities worker, died after a gunfight with the police. He has been identified as a Dwayne. He had been employed as an engineer with the city's Public Utilities Department for 15 years. According with the police, he had served in the military and he was described by neighborhoods as quiet and rarely smiling. Some United States media have reported that the gunman had recently been fired and he had a security pass to enter to the building, where shoot to his colleagues. The attack began at 4 p.m. at the Virginia Beach Municipal Center in the United States. The area was put in lockdown by the police, and the employees were evacuated. Was shot outside in a car, and the others were found in the floor of the government building. One of the a person who lived this event is going to tell us her experience.
We just heard that there was an active shooter and we just barricaded ourselves in offices to make sure that we were all safe. And
4 of the survivors were hospitalized. They had surgery in the night, and 3 are in critical condition, while 1 is in fair condition, hospital officials say. An officer was shot but survived because of his ballistic vest. Luz Angela Ramirez reporting from Virginia Beach to Set News. Back to the studio.
Get fixed. So on the other side, we have an experienced politician talking about the murders of women in Colombia and the 55th celebration of the D-Day in French. Thank you, Mike, for that introduction. Did you know that in Colombia, only January, more than 39 girls had been killed? This situation has been very worrying for the Senator Eira Abela and the representative of the Partido Conservador, Adriana Magali. Both girls present a debate on the Congress to talk about the roots of action and political control related to the feminism. The senators support the absence of the most important ministers. Um, Despite the senator began their speech, emphasizing how the entities in charge of these matters did not present a clear figures in relation to the number of women murdered every month. The girls make emphasis on how and how the acts of domestic violence used to be most related to the acts of violence against women. The two women make a special call to the Ministry of Education to implement a change in education in order to avoid those situations. News and historical facts. A day like today, but 75 years ago, the American soldiers disembarked on the beaches of Normandy, marking a turning point in what was the Second World War. More than 160,000 soldiers arrived and died on what would later be known as the Day. This fateful day is remembered by some as the triumph of the Allies against Hitler, but others remember him as one of the worst massacres they have been able to commit in their entire lives. Today, about 300 survivors gather on French beach to commemorate the fallen of these days.
Sí.
Thank you, Michael, for everything. Now we continue with the word.
Today, in the world, the rains will be devastated because can cause landslides. Dos Quebradas is the current in near alert for possible landslides from different paths. It is suggested to go out with jacket or it is possible waterproof jacket with umbrella because the population suffers an epidemic of colds. This is all for the weather. Welcome to the studio. Karina Velázquez reporting to Set News.